Hey ladies, I'm Tanya Cortez and welcome to the Foundation channel. On this channel, I talk about everything complexion and how it relates to more mature skin. I do foundation reviews, foundation wear tests, foundation first impressions. I do some hauls and a couple little things in between. So if you like that kind of thing, please subscribe and follow me on Instagram at Tanya.Cortez. So look, today we are going to be talking about a topic that is just, it just gets under my skin so bad. Literally. So we're going to be talking about texture, right? And texture skin and how our foundation looks on our textured skin. And everybody, everybody wants their texture to look nice. Everybody wants to make their texture look better, right? But it all starts with the base. Okay, so it all starts with the base, and we're going to talk about it, and I'm going to show you what I mean on some things. I'm a texturologist, and you guys know that I'm degreed. That's not really a thing. Because somebody gonna say to me, you got a degree, what is texturology? So we're going to talk about today some of the reasons why our texture doesn't look as good when we put on foundations. I'm also going to show you some of the things that work for me that help me with my texture skin, and maybe it's something that you guys could try, or maybe it's something that you're already doing, or it's maybe something that you can give me a tip so I can get a tip, because I'm always trying to find something that's going to make my texture look better when I'm trying to wear my foundation. So if you want to see what that looks like, then stay tuned. Roll the credits. Alright guys, so let's get right to it. I don't want this video to be super long for you guys, but let's just get right to it. So if you have texture on your skin and large pores and that kind of thing, because that's what I have, we're always trying to find something that's going to make this texture look better, from the primers that we use, from the different foundations that we use that have blurring things in them. Every time we see something that says blur the pores or blur the lines and all that, we're first to get that, right? Because what we want to do is we want to have a flawless makeup look too. And by this time, you probably have things that already work for you, or that you're doing things that make you feel pretty. And if you look at your foundation and you look at your makeup when you get done doing it and you feel pretty, then that's what I want you to do and how I want you to apply it. But if you put on your foundation and you like, something ain't right, then you might want to reevaluate the way you're doing things, because as we get older, we start to have to kind of go and remove and add certain things to our makeup application, because we have to adapt to our skin. But the bottom line is it all starts with the base. Now we know that is skincare, but we're not talking about that. So just leave that alone. But it all starts with the foundation. Now, full coverage foundations normally accent your texture most times. It also depends on what kind of texture you have though. It is very possible that you can cover your texture and it looks great if you are one of those people that are wearing full coverage foundations and you like it. Okay, you like it. That's fine. But a lot of times full coverage, depending on how much the texture you have, full coverage can accent your texture. Like for this example, this is Charlotte Tilbury's Airbrush Flawless foundation. Very nice foundation. I like the foundation. However, it will accent your texture. But of course, it's on application too. It's the way you apply it. But ultimately, if you use this, usually it'll accent your texture in some sort of fashion. And just like you have double wear, Estee Lauder double wear. Double wear is a full coverage foundation as well. Okay, so that's another one. And then you have foundations like, let's say, Pat Mcgrath. Pat Mcgrath is very sheer to a sheer, to a medium coverage foundation, and that's one. And then you have something like the Estee Lauder Futurist Hydra Rescue foundation, which is more like a natural finish, more of a medium coverage kind of foundation. And then you have, of course, like a Dior Backstage foundation that's going to give you a sheer to medium coverage also foundation. So those are nice foundations, right? All of them are nice foundations. But I have found that once you get older and once your texture starts to really show up on your face and pores and things like that, you start trying to move away from the full coverage foundations. And also, a lot of people are moving away from full coverage foundations. If you notice, you have so many BB creams and skin tints and dewy foundations and all that stuff coming out because people are getting away from full coverage. Now, if you use a lot of dewy and super hydrated, hydrating foundations, they will also accent your texture, believe it or not, because the way that the light shines on your face is going to accent your texture. So what we're going to do is we are going to compare side by side a texture friendly side and a not so texture friendly side, right? And we're going to see which one looks nice, because if you put on you can put on $100 foundation, and everything you put on there, if you don't put it on right and the best type of foundation, anything you put over top of it going forward is going to look a mess. So if you have a $100 foundation with a $50 blush and a $60 bronzer and so on and so on, right, so you might as well just forget about it, right? So what I'm going to do now is we're just going to go together and take a look at this and how it's going to work. We're going to do a texture friendly side, which will be this side, and then we're going to do a not so friendly texture side on this side. We're going to apply it. I'm going to show you some of the things that I use that kind of helps me, control the way my texture looks, so I can kind of look as flawless as I possibly can when I'm putting on my makeup for the day. All right, so just come with me and I'm going to show you. All right, guys, so here I am, fresh faced with no foundation on. So I do have some concealer on, and I did color correct in some areas because it's not really about the hyperpigmentation. It's about the foundation itself. So, of course, you guys saw the foundations that I pulled. We're going to use, I'm going to use the Double Wear, and I'm going to use the Backstage just for sake of demonstration. Now, this is not to say that either one of these foundations are better than the other. Definitely not saying that, because they both are really good foundations. One is just more full coverage than the other, so that's the only reason why I'm using it. All right, so if you guys can see, I'm just going to come up close so you can see. This is my texture on this side, right? It's real. And then this is the texture on this side. And of course, if you've not been on my channel before, I do have combination of oily skin. I have hyperpigmentation, as you can see. I have textures, large pores, everything. And so I'd have not as much texture on my forehead, but I do have texture on my forehead too. So this is what my texture looks like. This is going to be the unfriendly side. This is going to be the friendly side. So I'm going to use the more full coverage on this side and the more medium coverage on this side. So also, when you do, I just want to show you guys a little trick before we get started. And I'm going to use the full coverage side, but it's just, not trying to make it look better, but no, I'm going to do it on this side because then I'm going to mess up this side. So I'm going to show you a little trick on this side though. So we might as well go ahead and then do this side first. We're going to do the friendly side first, okay? So I'm using the Dior Backstage. I'm using this in 4.5 in. All right, and then I'm just going to, let's start here because I want to show you something. So you see the pores, and I have some pretty large ones on this side. So a little trick is what I'll do is I'll do that, put just a hair here. And this is only if I'm really getting ready to go out and I really want to have a really full beat, real flawless. This is one of the tricks that I do. Now, I forgot where I got the trick from years ago, but it seems to work. So what you do is you take a little bit of foundation on this side, right? And then when you putting it in, you only concentrate on the heaviest areas of your texture, which ones that you have the most open pores and that kind of thing. And you just swish it back and forth each direction over and over again, right? Just in this one little area. And see how smooth it made it? It just, because what you're doing is you're actually filling the pores with foundation. If you can tell how much smoother that looks. And you're just going to go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. When you get done with that, because it can be a lot if you use a whole lot, then you just want to take a sponge and you just want to go across it like this, really, really, really light, because you don't want to disturb it, but you just want to, you know, take off the thickness of it all. And then that's just a nice little trick that you guys can use. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to do this side. I'm going to do pretty much like a half a pump on each side. Cheated on this side a little bit because of this little thing here. And I'm going to take the foundation up to my eyes, because we're not, this is just about the foundation. It's not about, you know, the eyes or anything like that. So now with this side, with the medium coverage, I'm going to use a sponge, right? I'm going to use a sponge on this side. So now this is this side. And then too, guys, you know, when you're putting on foundation, you guys know, foundation is not to create a whole mask on your face. It's just to kind of even out your skin tone. You shouldn't be, you know, have to use a whole bunch of foundation just to cover stuff. If you want, the best thing for you to do is color correct prior, so that you don't have to use so much foundation. So this is more medium right here. And this still looks really, really natural. It still has a nice satin finish, pretty natural. We're going to take the more full coverage foundation, which is the Estee Lauder Double Wear, and this is in 5 in 1.5. And let's put it over here. This is just like a equivalent to a half a pump on this side. All right, and on this side we're going to use a brush, and here we go. We want to use a brush on this side. So the color is not too bad. Okay, so this is the full coverage side. All right, so that's this side. So you can see that the coverage is still, you know, it is a little bit more accented than this side. This side is definitely, now the color is not too bad, but you can clearly see how much thicker this side is than this one. This one has a little bit more oomph to it. All right, so, and this also does have a sheen. I remember I used to love Double Wear. You couldn't tell me nothing about Double Wear, honey. But yeah, I used to love Double Wear. And it really is a nice foundation. It really will smooth you all the way out, cover up everything and your mom. This is more full, so you're gonna actually see all the little, lines in my face, all the lines, versus this side, right around in here. I have more lines. It actually accents all of that stuff. I'm gonna turn this light down a little bit so we can see it in more natural light. Now, as you see, you can tell that it is really like, look in here, look up in here. Everywhere that I have the texture, it is really just accenting it. every little, you know, all of this, it's just accenting it. Unlike this side. This side looks a little bit more smooth, a little bit more, you know, it's not accenting a lot of the lines in my face, like around in here. Whereas this, you can just see every little situation that I have on this side. Like if you have smoother skin and you don't have texture on your face or anything like that, you can get away with a double wear and cover and have a nice full coverage. This is strictly when you're talking about texture. This is not everybody. This is not a person that has super smooth skin. It's not. This is about texture, people who carry a lot of texture on their skin, and that's really, really concerned about it. And it's about which foundation you use based on what your skin needs are. But it's just like this. Perfect example. You do your hair, right? And you make your hair so pretty and bouncy and fluffy, and you know, you wash it, you blow dry it, put little oils in it, you know, and then flat iron it. It looks so nice and bouncy, right? And then you go to the hairdresser and say, you know, I'm gonna go to the hairdresser. I'm tired of doing my own hair, so I'm gonna go to the hairdresser. You go to the hairdresser, and your hairstylist, she does this. You want the same exact style, but you want somebody else to do it, right? So she washes your hair, she blow dries it, and then when she gets done, puts the oils in, but what she does is she greases your scalp. Right? So she parts it and greases it. You know, she might use some of that Royal Crown, you know, with the silver top, the ridge, or she might use some of that blue or green, Blue Magic. You know what I'm gonna tell you. If y'all my age or so, y'all know what I'm talking about. Don't act like y'all ain't never get your scalp greased if y'all look like me. So anyway, but you know, she does that, and then she curls it under just like she curled it under. And then when she goes this way, this ain't moving. This is not gonna move. Why? Because it's greasy. You know, so this is the same concept. You know, you have the same thing. You have foundation on both sides, but one is going to wear different. One based on the product you use. She used grease, and she used a nice little oil, you know, like a little oil. And she flat ironed it. But this side is going to be different because I used a different foundation on this side, right? And then I used a different product, rather. I applied it differently. So it's not going to do the same thing that this side does. Now on the not friendly side, we're going to go ahead and we're going to add some blush. All right, so we're going to add some blush on this side. All right, and I'm going to use one of my favorite, which is so pretty. I love this blush. It is by Mented, and it's called Peach for the Stars. I love orange, peach, all those colors. Orange is my favorite color, so I like orange. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to add some blush on this side. Okay, we'll add some blush on this side. All right. I don't want to use too much, but this is what we're going to do. We want to add the blush on this side, okay? Now on this side, we're going to add blush as well, but we are going to add the Fenty Summertime Wine. It is a cream blush, and this is what it looks like, okay? So we're going to, I like to just dot a couple dots on and then blend it out, because you know you got to be careful with cream blush. You look like Zsa Zsa Gabor. You put on too much of that. So then, you know, we're going to just blend this out just like the other side. With this blush right here. I love this blush, right? I love this brush. I use this on my eyes, but I do love the brush. But if I come closer, you'll see, and let me show you up close. All right, so can you see the gold flecks and shimmers inside of the blush, right? You can see that? Well, that's here on my cheek now, right? The gold, you know, shimmer on this side. And then you have this side. Now, whenever you put blush, powdered blush on your face, and it has glitters and that kind of thing, shimmers, all that kind of stuff, it's going to accent your texture, period. It will accent your texture. I'm sorry, it really, really will. Of course, it depends on what kind of texture you have, but seriously, I believe, my opinion, is if you put something that has glitter and shine and all of that, it is going to accent your texture, just like it did just right here, where I put it. Okay, it just made it where you can see it really good. versus this side with the cream blush. Okay, now it's never going to be flawless because I have texture, right? So it's not going to be flawless on my skin, period, because I have the texture. All that I'm trying to do with this example is just show you how different it can look with the right application and the right products. Okay, now I'm going to set it with the Gucci, the Gucci that I just bought, the Gucci. This is the color, and it is in natural 10. So I'm going to go ahead and set my face on this side, right? And I'm just going to set it on this side. And I'm going to set the blush over top. All right, so now you have this side set. Okay, you have the same amount of powder on this side that I do on this side. All right, this side, of course, looks a little bit more natural. This side is the texture is really accented. Part of the reason is because of this blush. Seriously, this blush. Honey, are you shining? Okay, so, but that's this side. But you see what I'm saying? It's all about the product that you use. So this is fuller, this is not, right? So that's what it is. So try some creams. Try to, if you have a lot of stuff on your face, a lot of wrinkles and less firmness and all that on your face, then try to use some more medium coverage foundations, not necessarily more radiant, but more medium coverage foundations. Try not to use only the powder that you need to set it. So this could be one of the reasons why your foundation doesn't look as good as it could look. You know, now I'm not a pro. I'm just telling you the things that work for me on my texture skin. So guys, you know, just think about it. As your face change your products. You might have to. But if you like the full coverage and you like the way it looks, you know, do it. Okay, do an experiment if you can. If you have a medium, nice, you know, satin finish foundation, put one on one side and then you put your full coverage on the other side. The one that you absolutely love, put that on this side and then look at yourself in the mirror and see which ones you like better. If you like the one that's more full coverage, then wear that one. But if you like the one that's more medium coverage, more natural looking, then wear that one. You know, just do an experiment. You know, there's no reason that you can't try new things. Always try new things, you know. That's how you know what you like. So this was the demonstration. Let's go back to that other lady. All right, guys, so it's as simple as that. It all depends on the products you use and how you use them. You know, now that you're getting a little older and you're dealing with your little texture, you know, you might have to make some adjustments in your foundation, your blushes, your contours, your all of that. You might have to make some adjustments. If you like the way you're doing your makeup now, and it's perfectly fine. Those are some of the things that work for me, and it helps my foundation to look super, super, super good. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, please subscribe, follow me on Instagram, and thank you guys so much. And remember, stay safe. Bye.